Okay, so here we are again in another video, and today we're gonna start with the XY as always. Okay, so well, first of all, we had this price action here come from a big upside, but I don't care. We have here nothing to the left. So after taking this previous weekly low, sorry, we had this huge wick here. And it's true that I expected this wick to be taken at some point, but I wasn't sure about the price action here. Okay, so I thought it would take this trial liquidity on M5, as here we had no liquidity and it created a lot of liquidity here. It's true that with this huge wick, I understand that buyers could be in, but yeah, but maybe it needed to take some liquidity to move. It didn't happen that, okay. And finally we took the previous daily low with strength and everything. Seeing this here, we could have a reaction to the upside these days maybe, but not sure. Okay, so as you know, I analyze day by day, and well, it's just like that. Okay, and then well, it ranged here a little bit. Nothing I would trade, obviously, because I don't trade the XY, just a guide. So now let's see Euro USD. Here I think it was pretty clear the price action. When I saw the DXY, I was doubting, but seeing EU, for example, previous weekly high here. So previous weekly high, previous daily high with a week. We had a lot of reactions here, creating liquidity. Here it's creating buyers liquidity or sellers liquidity, like both of them probably, but moving to the upside. So now with this strong movement, probably it's inducing buyers. Here, as you can see, reaction. It never took the drama liquidity on 5. It took this liquidity here. It's pretty interesting because we have the breakup structure up here, but it uses this like a breakup structure. Okay, let me see. Probably on M15, it's a breakup structure here, probably. So it uses like this as round liquidity. As you can see, it takes here the round liquidity, it moves to the downside, inducing sellers, and then here we have sellers, you can see, and with strength induce buyers. Here we took this, and then it took this. Okay, so after this move to the upside with strength, I don't like the wicks, but I can understand this sell here to probably come and take this, or maybe it makes another move to the upside to take the liquidity and then movement to the downside. Okay, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. I saw this, but didn't trade it, as for me it's not relevant liquidity, but I understand that on M15 could be relevant liquidity. Okay, but I'm going to eliminate that because it's confusing for me. And well, yeah, and here we have the breakup structure, so here we have more round liquidity than 5. Yeah, okay, so GU more or less the same, but here the price extended much more. I'm going to eliminate that. So yesterday we took the, well, I didn't eliminate the drawings. Okay, so here we have the previous weekly high. As you can see, it reacts. Usually when it crosses previous weekly high, it reacts. So we can find here buyers, and here we can find sellers, and then movement to the upside. And today we had more or less the same movement like EU, but as EU, but we don't have previous weekly high and things like that. We just have the previous daily high. And I didn't like the chart, so I didn't look for trades here. It's true that the breakup structure was down here, So Raven liquidity here or up here, but for me it's down there. And here we have nothing. So yeah, I would like to see. I would have I would have like to see. I don't know if it's correct, but to see that this was taken, and then I would have looked for buys probably, but it never took that, and yeah. And I'm trying to only enter if it takes levels, so yeah. And then up here, you can look for a reversal, but it's pretty difficult as your liquidity level is so far away. So probably when it's too far, it's probably it's going to manipulate you all the time to take all the people out before the move that they want to create. Okay, so it's just an advice. If you see the price going far from the round equity, in my case, it's my strategy. Don't trade. Okay, it's better not trade, don't trade, or if you have some pattern for a reversal, then trade it, but be careful. Okay, so yeah, more or less something like that. For me, this is not really relevant. My relevant price action is here, but well, nothing I would look at. USD JPY. Okay, here we have pretty interesting price action. So after taking the previous weekly high yesterday, we had the same move here as the XY with a wick, I think. XY, yeah. Same movement here with the wick, but in this case it induced to the upside, taking ground liquidity on M5. Didn't look for a sell here as I wasn't sure. It took the ground liquidity on M5, it took previous daily low, and likely we had no breakup structure here, and then I waited for this previous weekly low that I saw, because I saw this reaction here and this movement, and I thought maybe there's something to the left. And how do I know this is a previous weekly low? It's not from well, it's from this week, but it started the week here. Okay, so it was our low more or less, just something new that I tried, but nothing relevant. Probably I would think it's better as round liquidity on H1, but well, as it broke a structure here, so yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the round liquidity on H1 as it's clearer. Okay, so here we had a breakup structure, mitigation and reaction, but out of timing. I'm not reading here. Taking the round liquidity on M5, not this one because it's not clear. This is a much more clear structural point, so sometimes it works better. I saw this late, so that's why I understand it like that. Then I waited for this level to be taken. It took that. No breakup structure here for me, so I just didn't trade that. Okay. But I like the price action and I understood the price action. Okay. Then use the CHF. Previously high plus round liquidity in H1, so probably we're looking for sales. This is the trade that I looked yesterday. This is a fake reaction. Okay, well, nothing interesting. And then today we had this round liquidity in H1 that took the previous weekly high plus round liquidity in H1. We had this weak break here. So you can see weak break. And I expected a movement to the downside here too. Okay. The thing is that it never took round liquidity to the left, so it just broke the structure. Stayed here to induce buyers, as you can see. You could say that these are buyers. Then, inducing them, it broke down. Early sellers enter. It takes, as you can see, it moves down, takes liquidity from the buyers. It takes liquidity from the sellers, early sellers, and then the real move. But it's pretty difficult to understand that. And then, and then it takes the previous weekly low. In this case, it's correct. Okay, purple line. And we could have traded here, breakup structure, round liquidity on M5. Pretty big stop loss for me, but well, this was a good trade. I didn't trade that. as I didn't, and as I wasn't looking at USDCHF today, I think I had EU, USDJPY, and USD well, so I didn't look at this chart. But here I was at home and I took a trade here, not trading right now any account, but took it here. So here we have break of stock to the downside, previous weekly high and run liquidity in H1. That's why we had a reaction here. I don't know yet. No, I don't think I said yesterday, but you can expect these reactions to induce that position, the liquidity that we have here. And then with this break, I think buys are pretty clear to take this high right now. After breaking 2 times or 3 the structural lows and clean break. I'm not sure, but I'm starting to like the price action, okay? But not sure, okay? Because here, well, it took this liquidity, but I don't know. So what was my entry? I waited for the previous daily low to be taken here. Break of structure, and then run liquidity on M5 being taken. And on M1, there was no engulfing candle, but I saw break of structure here. Momentum, okay, so this momentum was relevant for me because it had strength, and when I saw the mitigation on M1, I just entered, okay. So I know it didn't respect the mitigation, but that's why the stop loss is big. And then, well, 1 to 3.9. And as I say here, I like the trade. I liked the trade because of this clean break here. We have clear liquidity on M5 and everything. So I like the trade, not the week. Which week? This week. But when I'm on M1 confirming, I don't really care about this week, okay? Because if it takes the liquidity, it can create this week, as you can see, and move to the upside. But sometimes I doubt, okay? So I have to study this. I placed it. Okay, I placed it so I can see what's the result. I would have taken, if I would have taken the trade, probably yes, because as I explained, on M1 you're just confirming, and TP. Okay, so you would say why break even 50% here. I'm gonna explain it right now. Maybe the break even and partial should be up here as we have the raw liquidity on M5, but after entering and having, like, I didn't have this, I had this high, okay, this week, so I didn't like the week here, and I just prefer to close the trade, like break even and partial here. It's more or less yeah, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, so I don't care. I just make what it makes me feel comfortable, and that's why I would have done that, okay? So well, I hope you liked the video, and well, see you tomorrow. Bye bye.